Games within games. Back to CrossCode. And I believe last time we left off getting the rundown of the city from Shaggy. You know, it's nice to see that he was able to break free from the manacles of Scooby-Doo to come and waste his life playing an MMO. I guess I can't really judge. I would do the exact same thing. But still. Anyway, yeah, if you've ever played an RPG before, you know the deal here. Got tutorial land, we got merchants, we got quest hub, all that sort of stuff. Probably not going to be checking out the info hub just yet, because there is... Well, first off, these guys are still talking and walking and talking here. And I think that the way that each one of these episodes is going to go is that I'm going to go down the critical path, you know, do all the mandatory quests for the main plot first, and then come back and see some of the optional stuff. Even the tutorial area there does have some unique NPCs and unique dialogue in there. It's just I don't really want to miss out on anything else while we're doing that, so I'm going to be playing Shaggy's game for now. Besides, being that this game is like 100 hours long, it has a lot of flavor text, a lot of little optional dialogue, minor side quests, like characters that just say one thing. It's, I mean, hell, you just saw in that last area talking about being a tri-blader there. There's a lot of it, so I don't really want it to be that I start up the episode and avoid going into a dungeon for a half hour while I'm doing minor grinding or side quests or stuff. Also, by the way, Tri-Blader, Pentafist, I do think that I see a pattern for how the classes in this game are named. Alright, let's get the gist of what Crossworlds is supposed to be about. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the main part of the game, but at least for the very start, it's going to be like Dot Hack. I mean, I'm fairly certain that I mentioned that when I was doing the stream before, but this game reminds me a lot of that. Where it's going to start out where we're actually playing the game, and then it's going to fall apart in the second half when we start to realize what the deal with Shizuka and her brother was. I got my own theories on that, but hey, until then, what is Crossworlds actually like? What are the MacGuffins? Who is the big bad that we're fighting here? What you got? Neat. Natural satellite. Yeah, this is just like a moon that was terraformed to be a video game. What a world the future is. And hey, look at all of those areas that I'm going to eventually be visiting over the course of this. Or at least some of them, before we get back to the mysterious blue avatar, Shizuka and her brother. I do know that they are going to be important later on. With the recent update to Steam, they got a new banner for this game that does have those guys front and center with some of the other main characters. So they're going to be coming up quite a bit later. I do like this. Yeah, there's nothing that you're fighting or anything like that. It's just, hey, kind of look at what's up with the moon. It's very low stress. The world is not at stake. Well, at least not just yet. Gotta wait for that second act twist where we start to realize what the actual plot of the game is. Hooray! Yeah, you can wander around town, but you can't actually leave until you get that. All a bunch of instanced stuff. I've never played an MMO before. This does at least work as a pretty nice introduction to the basics of it. Oh yeah, there is going to be a lot of records in this game. Like an ungodly amount of records in this game. But like I said, we'll be checking that out later. I guess Shizuka's brother is named Satoshi. Well, at least this isn't going to be like Persona 5, where they're just like, I don't remember what happened in the beginning of the game. Live in the moment, baby. Now I can see the general amount of... There's even more quests than this, but these are the ones that are just obvious, I guess. Like I said, going to be doing that a little bit later. Let's go check out some of the new areas. Because there's plenty of things that you can do even before you leave town. It's just... they're not particularly interesting comparatively. I don't really see why not. I mean, each one of the characters does seem to act... You do get to partner up with some of these characters here, see what other classes are like. It's just... they don't seem to be too much different than whatever a Spheromancer is. I guess that is kind of a limit of the game. Who knows? Speaking of limits of the game, I do have to make sure that I am really paying attention to if I'm recording this or not, because I was having some problems where I had to restart this video a couple times because it stopped recording it. Just stuck on one frame, and well, I was still recording the music, but that was about it. I think it has something to do with the fact that this is either entirely or partially made in HTML5, which is definitely an interesting way of going about making a game. I mean, I knew that was pretty robust. I didn't realize it was this robust. Frankly, I don't care that much. Oh, trust me. I'll be just fine, high-level characters or no. Yeah, guilds. And also, we're talking about, like, raid. One of the groups around here you can find talking about raids and stuff like that, too. I highly doubt that's going to show up in the game, but I would like to... kind of like to see if that would be a thing. Maybe for some optional content late game or something. All right, let's go. No, we'll be doing the quests a little bit later on. No, I can skip that. I know how it works. I mean, basically, they're just NPC characters. Help you out in battle. It's nice. It's not really something that's essential. And frankly, I think I can actually just dismiss her and be totally fine. All right, let's go here. Have actual enemies here, even though they are enemies that are just straight up based on Sonic the Hedgehog. Hedgehogs! And hey, guess what? They roll up into a ball, spin dash at you. Indie games, man, you can't get away from those references. You know, the more some things change, the more they don't. The more they stay the same. Whatever the actual phrase that I'm talking about here is. So yeah, one of the things that was said, a little tutorial that came up here that I didn't really see the entire thing of, is combat rank. Appears in the upper right corner, goes down slowly when out of battle, but the more you're in battle, the more combat rank you get. The more combat rank you have, the better items you can get from enemies. Well, not that that's really going to matter too much, because as soon as you get a little bit of equipment, a couple levels, and also you're not getting interrupted by cutscenes, it becomes much easier to get ranks. I get the theme of Axel once again. I went through 2 screens, man. Come on. Yeah, apparently green is kind of a tri-blader color. Saw that back with Shaggy there. You know, he has an actual name, but I have entirely forgotten what it is. Yeah, each character seems to have... Yeah, each type of class seems to have a color and a... like, type of armor. Usually in a... For whatever reason, it seems like if you're not a Pentafist or a Spheromancer, it's the most blocky, absurd-looking thing possible. They said very early on that you could make your avatar look like just about anything that you want. And when the characters show surprise that it's like Leia had blue hair, but at the same time, it's like, you'd think that people would be a little bit more inventive in what they were looking like. I guess maybe there is a certain basic look that you would have to have, but seems like there's not really too much variation. Like, most of these people look like how I imagine they look in real life. I don't know. I would think that if you're making an MMO here, first thing that you would have is you would have a ton of people creating, you know, characters based off of already existing stuff. You know, you're gonna have a guild that's entirely made up of Spiders Man. Gotta make sure that you have that hyphen in there, otherwise it doesn't count. Gotta be true to the original comics vision. Or a guild made up entirely of Joestars or something. I don't know. But then it's like past that, you would have a bunch of characters that are, one, memes. Always, every single time that you play any video game, you gotta have a ton of characters that are just straight up memes. And then even past that, you would probably at least see a bunch of characters that... make sure I don't die here. Getting a little bit close. Have a bunch of characters that would just be weird monstrosities, whether it's your Borth Samsons or your Slurp McFlirtin Dankensteins. Just characters that are, hey, let's throw every single one of the sliders as far left or right as possible. See what you could get. I guess the green-haired guy, do we even actually get a name? Let's call him Axel, whatever. Is sort of like that, because he does look kind of ridiculous. I don't know, so far, most of the NPCs that you're seeing here are very normal looking. Maybe that'll show up a little bit later on. Then, the biggest thing that I'm kind of surprised you don't see more of is just straight up like anime cat girls. Anime cat girls in string bikinis, butts that make up roughly 50% of their body weight. That's like the #1 thing I would think that you would see in most MMOs. The idea that that guy... Oh, come on now. The idea that that guy would be like, oh, you chose a cute girl? It's like, come on, dude. It's like, she didn't even max out her butt slider. Oh, we maxed out the butt slider. We gotta add on another butt, quickly. Then suddenly it becomes an arms race to add on like 12 more butts or something, and you suddenly become one gigantic flesh-colored blackberry type of thing. That's what I expect out of an MMO, and yet we got people here being all like, oh, you chose blue hair, eh? The scariest thing about this vision of the future is the idea that people have such a lack of imagination. Oh well, there's still plenty of NPCs to be found, but like I said, I played a decent amount into the game, and it seems mostly like... We're not gonna get the fat guy from Gamer here, is what I'm saying. Like was speculated in one of the streams. Well, in the stream. I suppose I haven't done more than one just yet. Alright, getting a lot of combat here. Actually, each one of these... First off, if you are out of combat, you do regen very quickly. So that is definitely a viable strategy. But also, you know, enemies, at least the enemies on the field, are not actually aggressive. I don't need to be fighting these guys. I'm just doing it because I like it. The combat's pretty fun. Fast, as long as you can hit things accurately. Not too difficult. You know, like choosing between melee and the like, and then especially as I level up a little bit more and get some more interesting abilities. Oh, come on, I hate those Hillcats. These dang old Hillcats. Would have gotten away with it. Weren't for them, because we're on a Scooby-Doo tear today, I guess. All right, but yeah, it's some good stuff. It's not quite as like complex as Grindia, which again I've had this game compared to a lot when people were trying to sell me on it. You know who you are. Hey, nice. But it is fast, it is furious, it is pretty fun. Also, don't need to worry about, like, health and everything like that because you do very quickly regen out of battle, which is quite nice. I should check to see if I can't get some abilities. So yeah, you got, like, tanky in the upper left, which... no. Then we got, like, a ranged and melee. Bottom left and right. Let's go melee. Because I do think that... yes, you are going to be the one that I want. I love this move, and I'm going to use it. Nah, I don't think that's all that important. Focus also does increase your... yeah, it says right there exactly what it does. A lot of good stuff. Maybe I should go for this one first. And get another ball. I've got balls of steel. Narrow angle, powerful projectile. Yeah, I do like that. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever actually successfully used invincibility to dash through something before. But, yeah. Didn't end up taking it anyway. Alright. So, yeah. Instead of showing you the entire tutorial, let's just see it in action. So basically, after you hit enemies enough that you get like a little SP bar up, just press space bar to use that super move. Saw Shizuka using a couple of those, and in fact, like multiple level versions of those, which we will be seeing a little bit later on. Yeah, if you are focused, if you got like a little bar going on, then you use the throw art. If you are unfocused, if you're just like standing still, then you use your melee one. Pretty simple. Come on now. I do want to make sure that I am fighting these cows, by the way, because they do have an item for a little bit later on, a little bit later quest. But you need somewhat of a high rank to get. And if I am going to be grinding out ranks now, why not? Aged hedgehogs. A little bit more of a Knuckles flavor on these guys. Not in the sense that they don't chuckle. They definitely still continue to chuckle. It's just more that they have... they're just the slightly more difficult recolor. Hey, look, this is a video game, man. They're gonna have... ah, dang old cutscenes ruining my rank. Fine, fine. Really does not actually matter all that much. The map is very easy to get to, and something that I'm going to be accessing basically all the time. Lets you know what paths you've seen, what paths you haven't, what connects to what. Only been on for what? Like 18 minutes, man. Come on, I can go farther than this. Yeah, that duel is going to be at the entrance to the next area, as well as... well, it's just going to be the entrance to the next area. It's going to be a nice capper for the episode, I think. However, even though it's just a friendly duel, there are no stakes. You can actually lose it, and no problem at all. Not like you need to beat that guy. No consequences if you lose, after all. But I'm going to at least try to. And I'm probably going to make sure that I am far too over-leveled, since I am going to be doing a lot of quests here, to fight that guy, and make sure that I defeat him quite soundly. Okay, there we go. Got to get that break there. I don't know if you actually ever get a... come on. I don't know if you ever actually get a tutorial on the break, but basically if you're hitting an enemy when they are turning red like that, get stunned, get a little bit of extra damage with it. It's important for taking down a little bit more gimmicky enemies. Yeah, I'm not even going to mess around with these Hellcats. They're taking a little bit too long to beat. I do have to make sure that I am shooting all of this flora, though, because also part of the quests. And there are some rarer ones here, like you can see that they're differently colored, or if I can find another one of those things somewhere around here. Yeah, you can see like this one has berries on it. I think those ones are guaranteed to give you an item and are just generally rarer, sort of like a little reward for searching around a bit more. You see over time. All right, speaking of actually looking at the map, there's a couple areas that could have gone here. Like many, many things around here. In fact, Old Observatory I don't even need to go to. And I don't even know what exactly this place is or what you're supposed to do here, but must be a super late game thing. Also this character here, which I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was definitely a Kickstarter game. One of the things that you can see on the start menu is the ability to enter a bonus code, which I'm fairly certain is more of a backer code type of thing. And there are a couple of things later on that I'd say make it screamingly obvious. I don't know what sort of game this was, whether it was on like Indiegogo or it's crowdfunded in one way or another. Some games like that are kind of subtle about it. You know, you don't really even notice until you get to the credits and see how ridiculous, and see that they're the equivalent of like a Ubisoft game. But sometimes it's a lot more obvious. I'm thinking of some of the stuff in Hollow Knight, especially was like that. Shovel Knight, similarly. You could really see exactly. Oh, Bloodstained. Bloodstained was extremely obvious with how that worked. When you got to the portraits, it's like you're just like, these are backers. And that was one of the first things that you see when you get into the castle. But this game similarly has some of that stuff going on. Like one of the things you can do is, you know, look around at different enemies here, and NPCs do have their own unique name. I'm fairly certain that that was a backer reward. Along with some other ones that are even more obvious than that. Oh, come on now. So Code Knight there, this is all a bunch of stuff to say that I think Code Knight there is probably a character like that. That they're not going to have too much more significance outside of that sort of thing. Gotcha. Now watch out, these guys do start you on fire. There's a whole element system. I mean, the entire shtick of this... Damn it! The entire shtick of this game is that you are getting the elements, so no surprise that there is an entire situation based around that, but get to that when you get to that. Anyway, you go back to the point before you started up your bloodlust-fueled violence, i.e. before your rank went up at all. Which is too bad. But hey, at least I understand that. You don't get to keep all your spoils if you're really gung-ho on fighting enemies and everything like that. There's got to be at least some sort of trade-off. That said, I gotta go upgrade some of my equipment because I could be taking these things down so much faster. And trust me when I say that I want to. Whether it's quests or just making sure that I'm leveling up a little bit more. Gotta have high rank to get some of the better stuff here, after all. I'm sure if you've also been paying attention, there is a ton of, like... I think I can actually see if I look on the map. Can't look at the map right now, but if I cancel that out... Yeah, I got like a treasure count that I'm going to be getting. Each area, I believe, has that. Yeah, 029, 07. Got all 6 in the Rhombus dungeon, but come on, I don't even know if I can get back in there at this point in time. I'll save that for a little bit. There's a bunch of like little jumping puzzles and everything like that. Yeah, you got your minor rewards, the kind of super plants that you can see up here, but also you like your major rewards, which are, well, chests. Or NPCs, or other quests, all that sort of stuff. Come on. Yeah, due to the fact that, I mean, in dungeons, you are forced to fight some enemies. But before you get into dungeons, it's really entirely up to however much that you want to actually be fighting here. Ah, gotcha. So really, I don't need to be doing this much. I just am because, well, as you level up, let's just say this. As you level up, you will start to get to the point where fighting enemies is so... Just eat a croissant. Oh, now come on. That's way too stereotypical for me. But, it'll start to get to the point where you're just kind of fighting enemies as something to do as you're walking through areas. There's a fairly simple, fairly easy to use quick travel system. I mean, you just pretty much click on this, travel immediately right there. But, you know, it's also, speaking of which, there is also, it's quick to go through areas. It's not too bad at all. Here we are. The start of this song especially reminds me a lot of the third chapter of Celeste for some reason. Anyway, yeah, this is where we're going to be doing this. Oh, don't worry. I am going to be preparing for this more than you can possibly imagine. By the way, I do think that he has some stats seem rather low. No. I'll be back later. Yeah, he's got dialogue based on if you have way lower stats, stats that match him, or way higher stats, which, guess which one I'm going to be getting here. All right, let's go back and do some of these quests. I could do a little bit more exploration, but just over the course of that, I'm going to be getting to that point anyway. Oh, well, of course I'm interested in plants. Yep and yep. Already gotten quite a few of them. Taladu Lips sounds like an anagram for something, and it probably is. You are abusing those gerunds like none else. Level 50 quest, by the way. Yeah, this one is going to be entirely throughout the entire game, I guess. You do get rewards for completing like 25% of the list. And I assume like 50, 75%, etc. But I've only gotten the 25% so far. Also lets you know kind of like what the general level is going to be like for the game entirely. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they will pull a classic, a World of Warcraft and start to, over time, update stuff. After all, this game does take place over multiple days. I mean, logging out and everything like that is a thing. Although, let me tell you. Oh, wow, yeah, that's like the character who would probably give you your first quest. But, we'll be doing that a little bit later on, instead of the one that I got right here. Yeah, but let me tell you, if you think that you're going to be, going and playing in the real world, doing real world sections as if you're playing the original Assassin's Creed games or something like that, it's like, nope, not going to be a thing. More like Hypnospace Outlaw, if you played that game before, where only the Hypnospace part matters. You might do other stuff in the real world, but you're only ever going to see stuff happening in the game. To be honest, I think that's because there's going to be a twist as to who you actually are at some point in time. Involves hitting things. Probably should have, taken that before I started doing any of this, but I mean, do it later. It's fine. I mean, yeah, there's still kind of a question of exactly who you are. We don't really know who Leia is supposed to be. It's, and I think that the obvious answer, given that she looks exactly like Shizuka, would be Shizuka. I don't think that's the case, though. I mean, all right. So the way that they talk about this is that You are supposed to be playing as somebody who has lost their memories. Oh, yes, by the way, like NPCs there. Just in case you were wondering, you're supposed to be playing as some sort of person that has lost their memory. Now, I'm thinking that, if I was going to speculate a little bit here, I'm thinking that the first person I would think, probably Shizuka's brother, which I already forgot the name of. Nope, I've forgotten it. Because I do think that it's like, if he's, you know, in sort of like critical condition, it's like laying in a hospital bed, and the only thing that they can do is have him, you know, using, I don't know, Shizuka's like Smurf account or something, which is why he looks like she does. Like they're trying to regain the memory so that he can continue his project, or something like that. It's a pretty obvious reason as to why you would do that. Also a good reason as to why, you know, Shizuka would maybe eventually be trying to retrieve you from this if she's not actually the one who put you in the machine in the first place. Second, I mean, that's kind of like my first idea. The second idea I got, yeah, gonna be a little while till I can complete that one. Just making ice cream though. Also memes. Hope you like memes. The second thing that I'm thinking here is that Shizuka's brother was working on something at the very start of the game. And one of the things that we got at the very start of the game was a lot of talk about like the NPCs being AI and everything like that. Maybe what I'm thinking is that his magnum opus, the last thing he was working on, was a super advanced AI. And that this whole like, oh, you're regaining your memory or whatever, is all just a smokescreen for the fact that Leia is the most advanced AI in the entire world. And then you got like that blue avatar at the very start of the game that he's maybe trying to steal that, or maybe he's just trying to go after Leia because she's I don't know, like he's working for Shizuka or something, and she's just angry that, you know, Leia was the character that, you know, Leia was the creation that killed her brother, even though he also based it on her in the first place. All right, let's go see all of the various factions here that are going to be mostly what gives you the quest in the game, at least in my experience. I mean, like the whole inability to speak is because it's still learning. You know how the Turing test is supposed to be trying to convince a human that you're a human and not a robot. This is a reverse Turing test where you're trying to convince a robot that it's actually a human. That sort of thing. And that's why there's this level of like deception going on. And I think the obvious and probably the most likely scenario is that you're just some sort of third party. Like, he worked himself to death to save his wife. Something like that. And you're just playing as... Like, the last thing he wanted to do before he died, before he succumbed to his sickness, was try and create some sort of, I don't know, therapeutic type of device that would allow you to use like a video game as a way to regain memories or something like that. Oh, there is so very much lore to be had. And like I said, I'm going to be looking at all of it soon enough. First off, let's go talk to some of these faction guys. They each have a quest for me to do, and they are all strewn about this city entirely. Hello. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that I'm just going to be going and collecting a bunch of basic stuff for this guy. And there you go. Also, really nice name. Precious. And I'll be getting those over the course of just killing stuff, grinding out. Oh, I might be able to get it right now. Nah, I can't get the spice set. Yeah, if I destroyed some of those more, those rarer plants, that's what drops all of these things. You know what, sure. grab 2 of those right now. Why not? There's some basic stuff for creating things later on. You're in the market right now. Also, again, memes. I told you, it's like you can't have a game without having memes. It's the most important part of creating an indie game. Yeah, you can't actually jump in that fountain, by the way. You're made of instant matter. It doesn't mesh with water and all that. Alright, some of the other areas to go here. Let's at least complete the one where I just go around the various parts of the city and find the quest leaders. What is your accent? I guess German, you wearing a pickelhaube and everything. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. But it's... Oh boy, this is like a, what was it? Dragon Quest V levels of attempting to affect an accent. Alright, so right here, got the next quest. Yo. Yeah, the ancient mystery of beating up a bunch of hedgehogs. I guess if you're Dr. Robotnik, that would be pretty helpful. Yep, and here is another one that you can just do right in town. Let's go. Am I going to be doing every single quest in the game? Well, at least every single one that I found. You know, I had people saying, when I first started this, like, hey, wait a second, you're going to keep playing CrossCode? I thought you hated that game. But, you know, really, after I played it for a little bit longer, I think that I eventually came to the conclusion that, yeah, I really did hate this game. I hate this game so much. It's so long. It's like 3 million hours long, man. Oh, I can't believe you made me play this. Every second that I'm playing this game is agony. Choose shorter games. Anyway, let's continue on here. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Sure can. Mystique? I guess like the wood. I don't know. That name makes no sense to me. Yeah, and this is the one that requires me to beat up those cows and get the raw meat from it. Light wood and sharp wood, I think, is actually in the Bergen area, so not even going to be able to do that one today, but at least I can get the meats. Yeah, there we go. Trust me, after I level up a little bit, it's not going to be a problem to beat those things up. Takes a second right now, but with leveling, I mean, okay, you remember Grindia. Oh yeah, holograms here. I don't really know how that works or what that's supposed to represent, but I mean, there you go. But yeah, if you remember Grindia, I like a good grind. Willing to do a little bit of a grind, so there's not really... By the end of this game will be begging for mercy. How much are the sandwiches anyway? I mean, I really should be, you know, utilizing... I haven't been utilizing the items as much as I probably should, because it's not just healing. I mean, a lot of stuff is healing. You know, let's buy one of these, for example. But a lot of the stuff is buffs as well. The spicy bun, for example, attack up, defense up, focus up. I think that's like regen health over time. There's a lot of good stuff here. It's just... Oh, right, you actually need to check out. What a game! Yeah, that is disappointing. Another thing Grindia has on this. There's also an inn here, which, of course, looks like a Poke Center, because, again, can't have an indie game without the references. Yeah, This is a very old MMO thing. It reminds me a lot of how warlocks in... I'm sure it might actually be a reference to that. Warlocks in the original version of World of Warcraft had to have like soul shards to be able to even summon up some of their demons and stuff like that. It's just a terrible, terrible mechanic in general. I'm trying to jump with spacebar because I thought I was playing Undermine. Anyway, the more important thing here is more lore. You love it, don't you? I love it. Oh, her name is Joy. Oh, this game's stupid. Marshmallow. Isn't there some sort of musical artist of that sort of name? I don't know. Let's go up here and talk to this person. Yes, I am. Let's go. And then before I do that, there's a lot of little jumping puzzles around here to get a bunch of, well, mostly treasure chests. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing here. Yeah, that's the sort of crazy bulky armor that you'll see the less important NPCs wearing. Oh, is that the guy that they were talking about over at the entrance to Autumn's Rise? I suppose so. By the way, the meme shop does sell meme items. Ah, zing! You're going logging here, which I will be getting this thing soonish, but not too soonish. Seems like an interesting item. All right, more quests. Oh, but first. The local gardens. Right here, in fact. I get it, it's the puns. A little bit irritating to have to go try to find these trees because they are in somewhat unusual locations, but it's fine. I'm gonna have to be running around in there for other stuff anyway. Well, let's go. And also up here is, well, an area that I can't quite get to yet. Future update. I don't know if it ever will be open, but I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that. I also got like this guy up here, which has what seems like an extremely powerful item. Requires 30,000 credits to make, and I don't even think I've seen any of these items yet in the game, even as far as I played. Again, another one of those things to keep in mind for later. Well, in the meantime, go down here, continue on with the quest that I was doing. This is the most generic version of this conversation I've ever seen. I mean, you're an NPC, right? Not the best combination, at least in my opinion, but hey, whatever. You look suspicious. Well. I do like the idea that the fact that you can't speak is actually an important part of the plot. You'll be able to tell exactly who is an NPC and who is not just by that. And indeed, this guy does sell sandwiches at 2,500. And I did actually buy some of those, and no dialogue, no nothing. Stop jumping on those plants and walk out that door. You really think that it's... with how absurdly expensive those things are, that it would be a little bit more... something? You could get something from it? They're just a poet. You know, usually see him hanging around in towns, insulting people, I guess. Speaking of boxes, Jesus. I have no idea how to get in there just yet, but eventually. What's the power level of that animal, by the way? And I could probably do something about that even right now, but yeah. My level 38 stuff, I think you can tell that I'm probably not going to be able to get up here. Whee! Alright, not too much of a point of walking around here anymore. I don't actually think there's too much that I can do here until much later in the game anyway. Now, let's continue going and fighting the crime. Yeah, I know that Bruce Lee quote too. That's Bruce Lee, right? Oh, what are you saying, Pat? Mm-hmm. Smoke, you say? Well, yeah, I just need to go basically south. But before I do that, there is another one of the many guilds around here. Want to be checking out. So what do you do here, aside from chill? Apparently not much. You drink a lot of soda, I guess. That's an outfit. And a hairstyle. And just a character design entirely. More stuff to get. All right. And it's really not too difficult to find. I believe that the area where it's actually buried is very obviously marked. Hi, it me. Wow. That really pushed me out of the way. Well, as what, an avatar, you're like made of... It's actually like a lore thing here that I can look at real quick. All the way down here? Yeah, instant matter. It's virtually nothing. Apparently you can just... Yeah, there's no actual danger. There was no danger for anybody on board that ship at any point in time. Because, instant matter is kind of garbage. But hey, there you go. There's an entire huge amount of lore about all this stuff. Quantum porting. This is a future scenario that we're living in right now. Discovered a way to securely transport matter into a higher dimension and return it. And that's when we accidentally blew a hole into hell. But after the Doom guy sorted it out, it's fine. It's totally fine. New avatar, destroying stuff. And there's that strange log, which seems to be talking about something that has absolutely nothing to do with the game, but lore outside of that. Which is sort of interesting. Doesn't really seem like that's not a tremendously relevant type of thing. I don't know. But it's interesting anyway. Instantainment. That's the best thing that they could come up with, I guess. Takes place on an actual moon. There's no way to message a player via typing text. Absurd. Alright. There's some of the lore. Look at the rest of it later on. Hi. Whatever. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. Got a notepad document full of the locations of all the chests that I found for later retrieval. Eventually, you are going to be able to open up those things. I've gotten at least, what, 2 of the keys in the future? There's quite a few of them. Let's go. Thankfully, it is literally right outside of town, so it's not too bad at all. Much like I thought before, I am going to be Paper Mario spinning my way through just about everything. It is the most effective way to move. Alright, let's start grabbing some of these chests too. Why not? I mean, they're right here after all. There we go. And easy enough. Still not doing as much damage as I'd like, but after I complete a couple of these quests, I think I will be. Cool. Oh, also that's very convenient too. Other thing that I could do is go and maybe try to buy a little bit of equipment in the area here, but if you've ever played any sort of video game, you know that buying equipment is for schmucks. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go get better stuff just finding it in the field or whatever. Getting it from quests, really. I mean, this is just some plain stuff, but hey, I'll take it. And since I got to Bergen Trail, they already have the second quest for me going on. That's right, these quests are going to be coming fast and furious, especially if I'm going to be finishing the basic critical path before coming back and doing some of these. That's when you get more stuff opening up. It is a little bit higher level, but hey, I got plenty more stuff to do after all. Battered Fist, level 17. Okay. Might want to, yeah, take this one on a little bit later. I think is going to be the best idea. Was there anything else left to do around here, though, first? Lel? Your name is Lel. I can't accept that. Oh, but how can I? There's so many crates around here. Alright, let's continue on. Like I was saying, there's a couple more things to be doing. And I think maybe the most interesting quest that you can do, at least right at the start here, is coming up right in this area. All right, terrible. Anyway. Yeah, same thing that I got before. So right down here, there is an unlisted quest from this guy, who at least had some interesting ideas for what he wanted his character to look like, which is to say, a lion. Seems to be like sort of a ongoing side quest with this guy, because you do see him a little bit later on too. All right, and this one is not only quite a bit higher level than what I think I'm working with right now. What, I'm like level 6, 7? I don't know, whatever. It also requires me to go and beat a mini boss, or I guess a boss proper. I mean, there's very little difference between the two, I'd like to say, in this game. Yeah, pretty easily, because I already know where it is. Nope. Know what is up with that. Yeah, what's the deal with that? Oh, I think that I missed a little bit extra dialogue there. I think he just says it's not supposed to be possible. Anyway, you can go behind buildings. Okay, there we go. Yeah, gotta basically beat the game to get into that. Ridiculous. Yeah, this is the conversation about raids. Wonder if I am going to see that. See anything like that eventually. We'll see. Oh, come on, but you can like do just about everything else. Certainly they could have programmed that in there. Yeah. And as far as I can tell, there isn't. Because I tried looking around for whatever that entrance is that guy is talking about. It does not appear to be here in any way. As you saw earlier when I jumped into the fountain. Alright, the first actual... Well, that's to continue on with the quest that I just opened up. But the first actual quest that you got... And the one that I totally ignored when I was coming up to town is this one. Yeah, let's go. This is not difficult in any way. It's just to introduce you to the idea that you're going to be jumping up on stuff a lot. There's no actual jumping here. It's all automatically... Chili dog? It's all automatic, but at the same time... That doesn't mean that there aren't a whole bunch of little things related to doing that. Bam. There you go. And I will. But first... I don't think that has anything to do with anything, but still... It is dialogue that you can get, so I have to get it. Gotta show all that content, man. Great. Just to try to distract you from the quest, I guess. Whatever. Give me my vegetable sticks or whatever. I guess they wanted to give a lot of personality to the first quest giver because otherwise it's just nothing. Yeah, despite having this whole setup for the bar here, there's not really too much going on. No dialogue or anything. There is that, though. Makes absolutely no sense, yes. Alright, let's go get that quest. Not the quest. Let's go get this, treasure chest. And get out of here. Again, very similar to the treasure chests that you see... Or I think it's just data in the... I'm going to have to go get that one, too. So, very similar to the data that you get in the Mega Man Battle Network games, which I always really liked. They had that same sort of just basic geometrical shape. Although those things disappear rather than apparently literally opening up as if they were a real box. I don't know. I mean, it's, anything that can remind you of that series is good. Alright, so each one of these guys just has a lot of stuff to say. You can also reset your skills and everything like that, which I'm do later. For right now, I'm not going to worry too much about doing that for now. There's also tokens that you have to use, but yes. Yeah, I can hit this really silly looking thing. Also got this. All right. Come back here, heat and cold, which I do believe are the first 2 things that you get. I don't know. Yeah, it's really not too bad to try to buy these. It's just a lot of money. I don't know why they didn't want to gate you off from that, by the way. Because after all, there is... it seems like being able to re-roll stuff, to respec yourself is something that could be important. I like your hair. It does make you look like Mickey Mouse, though. Well, yeah, I don't really need to know much of any of this. It's really because there is dialogue over here. Man, why can't I read any of this stuff? I've got to go with the endless amount of other flavor text and everything in this game. Nope. Nope. Already got that. And anybody else here? Don't even need to worry about elemental anything for quite a while. I think it's the first dungeon that you start to get that. All right. Ooh, new page. No. I know the shtick. It's just I wanted to go... Oh, yeah, and also one more guy who appears to be NPC straight out of Earthbound. All right. Yeah, that's a basic look through of that area. Let's go do some quests. Because there are a number of them to do after all. And this is the point where we're going to start really cutting around in the general video. Because, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of grinding going on. Ah, yeah, I do have to get this quest done, too. This guy seems to appear in every one of the new areas and is basically just there to make sure that you canvas everything that you can possibly do in each area. Let's go. All right, Egad, what do you want here? Local wildlife, landmarks, and then there's a probe thing. And that's kind of the usual way that each one of this guy's quests goes here. All right, cool. Hey, and I already got the apples done. Great. And I already got that one done, obviously, but there's still more stuff to explore around for. Ah, here we go. Now here's another part of the quest done, and all you gotta really do is just beat up these guys. But hey, at least it's a little bit more than just trying to find that thing in the first place. Also didn't even need to use the whole analyze to even find that in the first place. There's a lot of things that are very obvious just based on the fact that they look very unusual. Or the fact that the Yeah, there we go. Or the fact that the you get an icon to show you that there's something interactable there before, you know, you even try to analyze it. Oh, let's grab the data probe right here. I don't think I need to actually kill these enemies to do so, but I'm going to do so anyway. Just because I feel like it. Oh, come on now. So easy. What was that sound effect, by the way? All right, so there's that, and actually I don't think there's too much more that I really need to do to get that one, or to get Henry's quest done specifically. So I could just go back and turn in that one right now, but I won't, because there are more treasures to be had around here. All right, let's do this guy's quest here. I want to get the treasures first. But yes. You do have some important bits for me. Really, because it seems like they have kind of put a lot of examples of that in the game already. Pretty simple and pretty, well, something I've seen in a lot of games before. There we go. Let's go. Level 9? Sure. What level am I currently at right now? I'm not quite sure how close. Yeah, only level 6. Should be getting extra lots of experience from that then. Ah, crap. No time limit on this though, so it's pretty easy, all things considered. Well, provided that I don't fall down from on top of here. Because then I will, in fact, have to leave the map. I guess, you know, that's the entire reason why I went to go find a lot of the chests here first. It's because if you didn't do this, then you're going to notice a probe. You're going to go past a few chests. There's good reason why you want to get those out of the way before you start up this little mission here. Oh, don't worry. This is going to be another line of quests to be doing eventually. Well, I mean, helping him in the future is going to get me more and more experience, so I don't really see what the issue is. Oh, there we go. All the quests are finished. It's now time to turn them in and get started on the next set of them. Every time you finish an area, they have a bunch of new quests for you. You know, replayability and all that. This is probably a quest that I should have done immediately. Because, well, at the level and equipment that I'm at right now, it's not like the rewards are going to be entirely worth it. But hey, I wanted to kind of separate things out. You know, you got your critical path, you got your quests, and then soon enough, all of the chests. Edge of all, virtually nothing. Let's take a look at what my equipment currently looks like. Yeah, no, not really that big of a deal anymore. Level 13, which you are definitely not supposed to be at this point in time in the game. Hello. Oh, hey, the pup actually has some use now. Weren't even NPCs talking in there before, but now I can at least turn in quest if nothing else. Yeah, so at this point in time, I have actually gone and gotten most of the chests that are not quest-related in this area. There's also one that's locked, so I'm going to have to come back for that one a little bit later. I don't know if I'm going to do it in this particular fashion every time. It does kind of lead to me having maybe overly good equipment. Ooh, I'll be right back for you. Overly good equipment and too high of levels. But it's fine. Hours ago, it's been like days at this point after I had to do all that editing and everything. All right. That's one thing taken care of. Oh, there's multiple dialogue for that. Eastern part of the harbor. And from what I remember, the crate just kind of looks like a generic crate. So this is... I know I was talking about before how analyzing doesn't really matter that much, but I do think I want to use it this time. Oh yeah, right there. In fact, Okay, good. I didn't lose the recording here. Oh, I guess it actually shows up immediately. But you don't get the description unless you use the analyze proper. Oh, also a turret. Again, perhaps a little over-leveled for this area. Which is going to be a theme throughout the entire game, much like grind yet. I mean, what do you want from me? I like a good grind, and I'm going to continue to do it. You can't stop me. Nobody can stop me now. So yeah, shady-looking dock worker or an NPC that has not been here before. I mean, it's not... Oh, and there he is. Pressing E to interact. That's not how that works. I can imagine that the role-playing in this game is not particularly robust. Also, that's a little on the nose. Given all these canned responses to things. You know, going up against turrets, this is probably a good time for one, my keyboard to actually work, but two, maybe try to go for some perfect parry type stuff. Not quite. Nope. There we go. Cool. Automatic break, too. Parrying is a little bit rough timing. I'm not going to say it's the... Oh, man, these things drop junk metal? It's actually kind of... Wait, is it junk metal that I'm looking for? There's one item here that I really... That is quite useful just because it is something that you require a lot of. No, but anyway, I was saying... What was the start of that cutscene? Nope, I guess I'm not saying anything. There's too many distracting things happening here. All right, let's go. But yes, it is good for taking care of simple enemies, I suppose is what I was kind of going to say. As far as parries go. There we are. At least I can work on my timing here, if nothing else. Turrets are perfect for that. If I get more focused, though, it did say that that does increase your parry timing and everything, so that might be something worth looking at in the future. Hello. Oh, come on. It's not like these things are even all that much of a threat. Predictable. Say all you want. And done. Although, from what I remember, yes. I guess parries aren't automatic breaks, but I think that in a lot of cases they are. For things that don't have shields like this. Done. All right. Get this quest out of the way, and I do believe this is the last one for this faction, well, in this town. There are other police quests to be doing. Sierra made sure of that. But also in other areas of the world. I mean, they're factions for a reason. Also, man, smoke bombs. I think you can easily tell who is a villain in this world just by who is carrying smoke bomb. Thankfully, the police are literally steps behind me every time. All right, let's go. That's the last one I think I got to do in town for right now, which is nice, but also I do have plenty more things to do as well. 2 other factions even on top of all of this anyway. My future assistants, you mean right now? Oh my. Thankfully, I do know exactly where that is, so it's not going to be too bad to go find them. Ah, get out of the way. A little bit NPCs. Sometimes, you know, they do have collision for some reason. Anyway, let's get up here and turn in this tree quest, which was maybe the most involved one of the previous set of quests that I had. It does require a little bit more parkour than you would expect to get up to some of those things. Perfect. Yes, there was an unusual tree in that previous area, not the one that was shaped like a cube. Wait, I don't think that you would have seen that at this point. Oh well, don't worry, it's coming up. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. You just defend the tree. You've seen this in a million games before. You know how it goes. Not a big deal, especially, once again, at this level. Now, fall divers are the last one to do, and then can go jump right back into Autumn's Rise. 2 places, Autumn's Rise, Autumn's Fall. But I think the Fall one is the one that's like literally level 30 or whatever to get to. All right, Bronze Edge still does not matter. More mini-bosses. And again, thankfully I do already know where this is. It does pay to play ahead a little bit in video games, after all. Well, of course we're going to do that. Swift Spike might actually be an upgrade for what I'm using right now. Currently in one hand I got a Radish, and that thing is only like level 13, I think? Hey, let me take a look. Yeah, I was actually right on the money there. Okay, let's go get back and start the second spate. First off, what I want to do is I want to go do the mini-boss. Oh, almost forgot about you. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I already got it. Easy peasy. And that's the last one I got for there. Okay, but yes, the one kind of side unofficial quest that I got to go get that broken gauntlet. Let's go do that one right now. Because as always, I do think... Oh, right, YouTube. Yes, you incredibly anime character. You know, This guy, I'm sure, is probably going to have something of a second act twist going on here. A Slugworth type of character. That is a reference to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Because, boy, I don't think anybody understood exactly what that meant. He was trying to steal the secrets from Wonka. The secrets to murder children, I guess, because that's mostly what it seemed like a lot of the candy did. Whether directly or indirectly. It is candy, after all. Anyway, this is how you get over to the rainy area. It is a little bit out of the way. Gotta do a tad exploring around to get in here. And in fact, there are hedgehogs as promised. Oh, so many of them. Thankfully, not gonna be a problem. As I was saying, I think that there is one area that's going to be an easy way to get S rank coming up here, and this would be it. Like, just the amount of these things in here are ridiculous. Not quite, though, so can at least go in here. Second verse, same as the first. Still not quite there yet, eh? You know what? I want to go for the S rank at this point in time. There you go. Get a bunch of stars on screen, get that little tiny cutscene there. Every time you beat an enemy, it gets like a little bit of a special death animation. Also get this very Rainbow Roady type of music. And not the superior SNES rendition of Rainbow Road, the inferior N64 one. Not my favorite. But at the same time, it's like, hey, it is interesting. I do like that they at least made some attempt here. The only complaint is really that I would like the music to be a little bit more bombastic. Just give me like a super reflex or something thrown on here. Anyway, there's really not too much to do here except for sate my bloodlust. So let's just end that right. Hey, I didn't even realize I was that close to a level. Cool. Shut up, Emily. We got more work to do here. In fact, I got to go back to that other area because I kind of clear-cut my way through every single enemy to show off a mechanic. Anyway, yes. So if you were wondering, there is indeed something a little bit special for maxing out your rank. I don't know if it actually means anything, like if you get extra drop rate or experience or anything like that, but it is something. It at least gives you something. And hopefully with the amount of levels that I've gotten here, I will have S rank for most of the time that I'm going through Bergen. Anyway, normally after you beat up all those hedgehogs, this thing spawns, but since I had already done that here, it's already just kind of hitting, sitting on the ground. I mean, we all knew this was coming. Also, yes, the hedgehog is indeed blue this time. And it is quite buffed up comparatively, able to change directions and bounce multiple times. We gotta watch out for this guy. We're making a proper Sonic here. I guess that's just expected if you think about it. Yeah. Combination jump and spin dash. Also extra fast on top of that, too. This guy can be a little bit difficult if you're not prepared. Thankfully, I am more than prepared. Okay. One more volley here should end that just fine. It's just a hedgehog. Come on. Golden ring and chili dog, because this game. There we go. And I do believe that does count as a chest. Great. Because it's I wasn't quite sure if the quest ones counted as a chest, but it does seem to be the case because obviously it has counted up there. Some of those chests are pretty well hidden, so I'm still not entirely sure if I'm missing any of them just yet. Oh, well, that's not what I meant to do then. I forgot that there are railings here. Why even bother? Everybody's some kind of like avatar thing. Nobody, you don't take fall damage, I think. I'm pretty sure you don't. Got it. Yeah, I listened that hedgehog to death. Alright, there we go. Learning nothing but his name. Oh well, the point is not so much that we're learning his name. It's more that I'm interested in what the deal with that guy is. Certainly it's something. Can't think it could possibly be nothing at all. Alright, old obelisk, go to the right, and that should be the special tree. I mean, it's the only tree that looks different from everything else. You probably noticed it already just because of its unique stylings. There we go. Tree HP. Hungry noises. Yeah, the tree does actually have quite a bit of HP, so it's very unlikely that you're going to be having too much difficulty with it. That doesn't mean that they aren't going to throw a ton of enemies at you, which unfortunately you don't get rank for, so don't think that you're going to be getting a lot of extra items for this. In fact, I don't know if these guys drop items at all. Oh, they do. Okay, good. At least it's not just the quest. That would not be enough for me. Halfway there. Emily's excited. I do really like that big melee hit. That move is great. Hey, come on. Didn't even see you here, I guess. Well, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I am far ahead of the game as far as HP goes. How can you still be licking the tree? You're so far away. Here we go, and yeah, that should be it. Okay, great. Cool. Well, there's another one done, but I'm not going to go back and turn that one in just yet. There's still more stuff to do here. Specifically up in this area. Believe that... Oh yeah, there's a lock chest, by the way. I'm not going to be doing anything with that for a while. I don't remember where I'm going right now, I just realized. Okay, it's to this area. Okay, let's go. It's a good thing that they do have a pretty nice map in this game, otherwise it would get a lot more confusing now, wouldn't it? But first, I need to get up to this area. And actually, I think even before I do that, what I should be doing is going over... No, not here. I'll figure out the area that I'm doing immediately. Yeah, there we go. That guy. That guy is who I am looking for. Fortunately, it is a little bit of a trek to actually get over there in the first place. But thankfully, when you're on the basic area, the basic map here, enemies aren't really hostile to you unless you attack them first. And like I was saying, I do not have any reason to be attacking just about anything for a while. Hello. I already have that cave unlocked, but let him lead me to it anyway. One of the nice things about doing this is that you don't have to worry about getting chests now when you're trying to do quests at the same time. Yep, let's go. This is pretty much just one area for an elite enemy. This guy. I don't really think there's too much point in killing the regular trash mobs because they get spawned back so quickly. But I am going to do so anyway, just to kind of clear them out. No phases on this guy, I guess. It's just the regular one. This guy can be a little bit difficult if you are not as leveled up as I am right now. What do you got? Well, I mean, you got a chest, and that's kind of the most important bit here. Because that will... I can't look at the map in here. Because that will add to the total of 100% completion, which I'm going for. All right. Now trying to even remember. Oh no, I do have one more to go. And I think that's also in this area. So knock that one out right now too. Trying to go get the doesn't really matter because the area right over here is also kind of raised up a little bit. But yes, you. Let's go. And she wasn't kidding. There are indeed a bunch of extra enemies coming up. Okay. Really, the bovines I kind of want to take out before anything else. Their whole extreme armor is somewhat irritating to deal with. Of course, there's one of them in every volley of this fight. Man, I'm about to get set on fire here, which is ridiculous. Come on. 1 and 2 and 1 more. This is quite the fight, actually, for kind of a otherwise minor excuse for a quest. Thankfully, not going to be too big of a deal anyway. Oh, I'd like to get the break on that Hillcat there, but that just is not going to happen. Fine, how about this then? Yeah, those things are pretty easy to craft. It's not that big a deal. We good? We good? Great. And I think that's everything accomplished for right now. Yeah, everything else is just going to be a much later quest to do. All right, and then it's just going to be showing off the... I was thinking about, you know, looking at all of the lore for this area that has been given, but given how long this has been going on now, I do think that I'm probably going to want to end the episode. Great. Now, right over here. By the way, I do think that... Yes, these Boomwalker things, they require, like, the golden rings and the chili dogs and the like. So it might be worth remembering that for the future. Golden triangles still do not have any of those. Otherwise, I would be crafting that ridiculous meme weapon right now. It is pretty powerful. Maybe not in levels, but it has like very high criticals, I think. Great. At least it paid for the chef sandwich that I used. And then fall divers, and I think we're good. For this episode, I mean, every single one of these areas is going to have this sort of setup of tons and tons of stuff to do. Equip that thing up too then. Don't think anything else says... Yeah, no, that's about it. Alright, so let's get them chests. There are a lot of chests to be had. Almost 30 of them, in fact, so there's going to be even more jumping around than what's been happening before. I mean, most of the chests are not very important. At best, you're going to get a small upgrade to your equipment. At worst, it's just going to be some minor consumable or a crafting item. But I do appreciate what they represent more as from a gameplay standpoint. They really exist in a way to make sure that you are doing the most with each one of the areas. Each one of these screens might not be huge, but you are jumping up, down, all around, searching for the perfect place to do some parkour to find things, everything like that. Even going around the very outside of the playing bounds just to try to find a couple tofu crackers. Yeah, you can always tell what is the literal cutoff, where you can't go even if you want to by those concrete barrier things. But anything else that you see might potentially have something hidden in there. It's the economy of game design that I like to talk about a lot. Where I just like getting the most out of the assets that you're given, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, somehow I walked past that quest-related tree, I don't know, 3 times. It's not that minor of a change in color either. I have no excuse for that. So some of these chests are fairly easy to get, like that one where all you got to do is walk around the back of that area, or this one, which is just essentially explore the entire area. Some of them are far more difficult to get to. I think that the way that I kind of figured out how to get to a lot of these things was looking at where is something, you know, a chest or what looks like a bunch of stepping stones, and then working backwards from that to some place where I can actually get up high enough to get to it. There are also even NPCs that do tell you about, they kind of show you the ropes on how you're supposed to be getting these chests in the first place. Which is helpful because that one specifically is purposely made so it looks like that you might be able to jump on those pillars over there, but no, you really got to do a big roundabout fashion like this. Which is also important for finding that one parkour NPC. You know, when I was talking about getting the chests during the chest first before talking to this guy, this is the footage that things are a little bit out of order, let's just say that. Because I do think that at this point in time, if you want to end the video, you are entirely within your right. It's been over an hour and a half, and it's not like we're getting any more plot stuff at this point in time. Gotta be a little bit faster than that. I mean, it's your basic, yeah, you're supposed to stand in the middle of every one of those things, shoot the two to the upper left and upper right, and then melee the stuff in the middle, but I've been playing for, what, 2.5 hours at this point in time? Oh, you could really tell by the end of that I was getting quite exhausted. And even more than that, go around and get the chest that Christophorus? What is that guy's name I was talking about? Oh, perspective. I tell ya, one of the things that is kind of frustrating in this game is telling if something is higher than another thing sometimes. For the most part, I think it's well designed enough that you can tell, but if you're trying to jump across, it's just sometimes, yeah, stuff like that. So I had to go make the entire roundabout again to get the chest that's even farther from that point. There we go, and that's just the chest that was opened up by doing that minor puzzle on the island there. Okay, back to this point. Yes, it's the there's a tiny plateau on top of a plateau on top of the ground, and that's kind of strange. I mean, for the most part, you want to think of this as being the most logical way that you would get to each one of these areas, especially something like the later dungeons. I think you're given a lot of freedom with how you can shoot things, you know, making bank shots with your come on. Making bank shots with your bouncing shot and everything like that, but also, you know, basic parkour. It's fairly robust. There are a lot of angles you can jump at and a lot of places that you can seemingly jump to. But you want to kind of think, what is the more simple, well-designed way to get to something rather than the most complex way that you can possibly do it? What I'm saying is that puzzles are not so complex in this game that they're going to require you to really try to figure out some advanced geometry just to hit switches or jump to things correctly. Not that stops me from falling into the water over and over. There you go. Yeah, it does look like you might have just been able to jump across the ground there. Not quite the case. Oh, and there's the lock chest that I made allusion to earlier. But really, I'm just here because I wanted to talk to Canonical NPC. Great. I didn't include it, but I did look at his name a little bit later, and it is XXX Demon XXX. So I don't think that guy's an NPC. Just, you know. Just saying. Alright. But yeah, that lock chest is the only chest that I'm missing at this point in time. I'll be able to get it just a little bit later. Thankfully, of the tiers of lock chest, that one's pretty low. So it's not going to take a huge amount of time to get. Not every NPC has something to say, but a lot of them do. That's also a good way to tell what areas you're intended to get to and what areas you're not, because there are NPCs just kind of hanging around everywhere. So if you see a dude up on a cliff, you can probably get there yourself. I don't know why that one took me so long to get. All right, and this is the last basic one, and then we'll go into live commentary to end out the episode. Oh, you know what? While I'm over here, let's go check this. Yeah, right in here is a little somewhat secretive area that you can see easily if you're looking for it. But if you don't really know it's here, it might be slightly more difficult. Can't even get everything going in from one side. A little bit earlier on, you might have found the entrance to this place, but it's not until... Come on now. You really got to make sure that you're following those dotted lines. It's important. There we are. Okay, and now I need to approach that from a different angle, but it is open for me at this point. Right in here. I don't remember what this is, so I hope it's some good equipment, because I can really use that sort of thing right now. Halcyon droplet. No idea. But hey, it's something. It is certainly a treasure that I will be using in the future. Yeah, I never really looked into this area too much. It's only slightly off the side of the road here, so might as well give it a better look right now, especially because from what I remember, there's something of an interesting object. Have these very witness-style lines leading to some of the puzzles. Is a good indicator of that there might be something around here. No idea what that means, but I mean, hey, it's something. Now, it's this perfectly regular tree. There are a couple perfectly regular objects that I have seen across my journeys through the game so far. Don't know what they mean, but I think it's going to be important in the future for something? Potentially? No idea. Gotta make sure that you always hit those rare plants, man. Alright, well, there's no way that I'm getting up to the larger area there, but I can get the one chest that it is over in this part right now. A lot of little parkour bits to get these chests, but none of them are very difficult. The entire idea here, I think, is that you want to sort of retrace it backwards to see if you can't... Yeah, almost got it. Maybe? One more. Okay, one. Master Ball, eh? Come on.